It's time to go, to leave the cozy walls of academia and venture into the noisy reality of one of Europe's biggest and busiest ports.
I don't really know the harbor at all.
I've never looked at the harbor this closely.
I'm the only one in the group from Hamburg.
My country doesn't even have a coast.
My father and my grandfather were both sailors for a time.
We're united by curiosity and thirst for knowledge.
Probably the best introduction to the harbor is to be had from the water, so all aboard. Seen from the Elbe River, one might think the harbor consists of nothing but ships, water, and containers. But the students suspect there's more to it than that. But what? Across the river, they can see a jumble of the old and the new. But from here, it's difficult to get anything more than a general impression of the harbor.
I still don't have a real idea about it. All we can see is parts, and I still don't know where it starts and where it ends.
So it's time to take a closer look behind the scenes. The students take off in groups to see what they can find. In the Hafenmuseum Hamburg, or the Hamburg Port City Museum, they learned that human-operated cranes are rapidly becoming obsolete as automation takes over more and more of the work. But where are the new jobs coming from? They asked the museum director. This expedition is fast becoming like a regular seminar. Pavel notes down the answer. Cruise ships.
Cruises are now for all groups, not just for retirees. It's the market of the future.
The future and change. The students realize they're onto something.
The Hamburg Port Museum seems to think that's pretty important. So I think it's significant for us too.
Time for some serious theoretical debate in the museum cafeteria. The kitchen staff keeps its distance. And then they head back into the field. Next stop, rehearsals with the Harbor Pilots Choir. Together, the former captains and pilots have more than 1,000 years of seafaring experience. Mark, Pavel, and Martin spontaneously join in. At the university, that's called participatory observation. Now they're right in the middle of it. Harbor life up close, something no book can properly capture.
I never would have thought that something like this even exists. At the same time, it's kind of sad, because this is the only choir where former pilots and former captains sing together. And we've just found out that in a few years, it may be gone.
Next stop, a warehouse. One harbor institution that is unlikely to change much, even in the next 100 years. The boss here doesn't understand what the students want from him. He's skeptical about universities.
There are things that you can learn from study and use in the future. But the important thing is to have really tackled unfamiliar material.
When Julia and Jasper go back to the waterfront, they quickly get involved in a discussion about a ship. Suddenly, they're experts.
The main thing is, you know it and we know it too.
They've concluded their research into the modern harbor. Now it's time to return to academia and summarize what the Brit, the Pole, the Czech, the economist, the German, and the philosopher have learned.